All right, and we are live with Writing Sprint Wednesdays on this wonderful, what is it, July 16th, 2025 today. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me. It's a gorgeous day here in Ontario, Canada, at least my part of Ontario. I hope it's gorgeous wherever you are, if it's morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it may be. I see the chat is a bumpin'. Be saying hi, the Duggett. I feel like I have Duggets, but I can be Duggett, sure. I'll take them all. I saw some chatting going on here. I saw Elena's series is now 9 cities, 9 lives. I feel like we're up from, was it 7 before? Was it even 5 before that? I feel like there's just more cities and more lives being added to this, which is just exciting. So hello, Elena, and hello, NJ, and hello, Ashley, and who else do I have in here? Athena, hello, and thank you, saying, did anyone check out World Building Wednesday over at the Academy? Loved it more than you expected. Well, thank you. Made that with my own 2 hands. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And NJ asking, was it premium only or for everyone? It is part of Dabble Academy, which premium dabblers get access to. We can also purchase access directly to the Academy itself for all the courses, workshops, events like World Building Wednesday. It was fun. It was very fun putting that together. It's been admittedly a while because it's blog style almost. It's been a while since I wrote a blog article for W, so this made me feel good. And I mentioned B before, but hello, David, hello. Let me keep scrolling here to see who else is here. Elena, hello. A lot of chat about AO3 going on, Wattpad going on. I never had an account on any of them. Tumblr, never had a Tumblr account. JM Brown, hello. Aaron, hello. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. We're on deck for 3 20-minute sprints with a 5-minute break in between. All the links are down below me if you want to join me in wordsprints.org. And I also just dropped it in the comments there, so it should be available to you. No problem. Let me know what you're working on today. Who else do we have in here? We have Reed and yeah, Elena, there were 7 cities before, but now there's 9. Excellent. Emily, hello. Live Journal. I've never even heard of Live Journal. I will say, in a past life, I got to work with RBC, which was, maybe still is, the largest bank here in Canada. And the role that I was in, like an internship, I got to go to the Wattpad headquarters in Toronto. And it was everything I wanted it to be, like open concepts, exposed brick. There was a dog wandering around, which just made it excellent. There was a life-size cutout of Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki in their roles as Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural. Like, if in another life, maybe Dream Job would have been over there. Who knows? Because they're only tick boxes being listed there. Who else is here? Ben, welcome from Texas, first time here. Well, I'm glad you are joining us. Just above your comment, you should see the link for the first wordsprints.org session if you want to join us over there, or you can write wherever you want. But I'll be sharing my screen so we have the 20-minute timer going so that we can get those productivity boosts in. SK, hello. Nice to see you. All right. Uh, B saying, I've never heard of it, but sounds like a place I'd want to visit. Excellent. So I've been doing a lot of revising in sprints lately, and I finished the revisions for my book that is already out, but I was revising it for narration. And to be honest, it's been a few years since I wrote that book, so I was just making it better. That's one of the nice things about indie publishing is that you can improve it to a certain degree, because once it's audio book produced, once it's narrated, and that's the word, you can't do substantial changes because that will mess with WhisperSync if you're publishing through Audible. We can talk about that a little bit more on the other end of this first sprint. But I'm done with that, and I've been missing writing. Most of, if not all of my writing time in a week has been going towards these revisions, and so I'm going to work on an outline for a novel that has been dwelling in the back of my head for a while. I don't have all the key beats fleshed out. I don't even have the climax fleshed out. So that's what I'm going to be working on here. It's just working on an outline, maybe some just brain dumping on the page and seeing what happens. Ashley's finishing up this fiction in a fanfic series. Then you have a break with writing an manuscript. Working on your debut. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna share this and we'll chat more after. Happy writing, everyone. All right, everyone, and that is our first sprint of the day finished. How did we do? I got 500 words of notes, of rambling, of outlining done, and I'm feeling good. It's fun. It's exciting. This is, the some of the stuff that I really love about writing. It's just coming up with all this new stuff, right? Inventing things out of nothing, pulling on things that I really, really like and seeing what I can do with them. I just posted the link to the next sprint in the chat, but you can find it at the very top of that first sprint on the left, or you can find it below me in the description. Let's see what's happening in the chat here. Susan came in late, but I'm glad you're here, Susan. B got 640. Ashley just cresting that 1,000 milestone with 1,006. My apologies. I think I have a little tickle in my throat. 21 for Aaron. SK is a very good question. Does it ever stress you out, or did it stress you out in the beginning to have your writing on display during the sprint? I feel like I'd be rather nervous. It was very stressful at the beginning. Maybe not stressful. It was anxiety inducing, nerve wracking at first, and sprints were really like this mission of mine to bring forward and do in the community. And so, I am like, yeah, we can show our sprints. That's how we differentiate ourselves, because a lot of people do sprints. Most people don't show them on screen. But after a while, it's like, okay, people, if they're looking, cool. If they're judging my first draft in a sprint, that's on them. I don't particularly care. But more and more, I just reassure myself that you shouldn't be looking at my writing anyway. You should be doing your own work. So if you're choosing to read my stuff rather than do your own work, I'm flattered. But I know the vast majority of people here are here for accountability or here for support and community. And so if having my writing on screen helps with that, then I'm happy to do it. But I'd be lying if I said that thinking about it made me feel great. Athena 352, Elena 310, David 450. SK beeping at the end always reminds you of Lost. Erica 302, JM 522, Reed 807 of revision and adding. Love it. Ben, you got 200. I'm trying to fill out a first draft chapter right now and make it more complete. That's fantastic. Did it go well? Like, tell us more about how your first sprint went with us. NJ's back for the second sprint. Awesome. Susan 71 words. Fantastic. Emily meant to shorten an outline, only deleted 100. That's fine. That's great. Danny, but it makes you really aware of what you're doing. It does, and sometimes I'll write a line that I know is a little cringy or a little bad, and I'll chuckle to myself. I'll shake my head, but everyone in these sprints, everyone on your side of the screen has always been so supportive, has always been so kind in these. So there's no pressure from this community either. All right. Hanweli, just about to finish planning my book, and I'm exhausted and excited at the same time. I'm excited for you. I know it can be exhausting planning your book, but hey, all of that's about to pay off because you're about to make something really cool from it. That's awesome. Ben, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I saw before we started, Renee was asking, you can outline while editing? Brain blown. I feel stuck in editing and like I can't get away from it. In an ideal world, and I know we don't live in an ideal world, but in an ideal world, I can split my time between, like, if I have an hour for writing, let's say, then half an hour for writing, half an hour for revising. That doesn't always work, right? Revisions are important. I have such a backlog right now that I need to get through them, so I'm prioritizing them over writing, but I just can't go so long without writing. I need a little bit of fun. Revisions are work, and they're good work, and I get to make some really cool prose, some really eloquent prose in that, and like really drive home what I'm trying to say in a story. But just writing, raw writing, it's fun. um, yeah, it's really fun to do, and you end up getting good numbers. I agree, Ashley. Awesome. Okay, we have 30 seconds. I said we would chat about something on this side of the sprints, but I got all caught up in it. The only thing I can think of is unrelated to writing, but while I'm writing here, I'm listening to the soundtrack for K-pop Demon Hunters, and every song is a bop. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you enjoy urban fantasy, flashy, romance kind of stuff, K-pop stuff, watch it. That's my piece of advice for you today. But I'm going back to that soundtrack and to writing. I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, everybody. And that is our second sprint of the day done. I see that Star has joined us. Hi, Star. Always good to see you. There we go. Okay, let me grab the link for the third sprint. Again, it is below in the description. You can find it in the wordsprints.org session, but I'm also going to put it in the chat because that's just easy, right? And then I'm going to copy and paste all my stuff over. For anyone interested, let me actually pop this back up onto the stage here. This is been my outlining process, and like you can have a structured outlining process, and I think that it's nice to have something. But this time around, I just wanted to just riff, just wanted to brain dump. So I did cute marketing line. Hunting monsters pays the bills being one complicates things. That's the foundation for this series that I'm coming up with, called Nightshade, and it focuses around Claire. And so I give her a little blurb here, and then I get into the jot notes because putting everything in full sentences when you're brain dumping, very difficult thing to do. So I just laid out some initial blurbs and then some specific information about her, and then the big hurt and the lie. It's funny, I was talking about the big hurt and the lie with my better half the other day. She goes, Doug, that is, calling it the big hurt is just so you. Like, yep. Yeah, it sure is. And we can revisit the big hurt and the lie in a second here. I'm just going to scroll through. Then I went to other characters because that's just where my mind went to. And then plot, question mark. 'Cause I didn't know what I was dealing with. And then let's do something with a cult. And then I went out from there and built it out. And then I thought this is going to be an episodic series. So I want to start introducing some other stuff into it that I can use later on once we're beyond this initial 3-book arc that I'm thinking of. And then I went through and listed out the major beats for each of the 3 books in that initial arc that I'm thinking of. And that involved a little bit of back and forth. As I thought of stuff down here, I would add a line up here. And then now I'm doing a 3-act outline for book 1 just to get the basics out. How do you bullet point in Dabble? Ashley's asking. You can't in the manuscript view, I don't believe, but in notes and stuff, or in wordsprints.org here, just hit the dash button, and space, just like in Microsoft Word, and it will automatically bullet point for you. All right, let me hide that and that. Laura's here for the last sprint. Hello, Laura. Thank you for joining us. Let's celebrate some wins from this past one. Ashley got 734, Athena 329, David 225, B 529. Awesome. Star only about 150 at current. 150 is still fantastic. Susan 223, Erica 290. You're losing your steam a bit, but making some progress. And I think it's important to find the balance of listening to yourself when you're losing steam, when the creativity is running out, and seeing how far you can push yourself as well. Stuff that you write can always be deleted afterwards, right? But I want to make sure you're having a good time still. Elena got an even 500. Love it. Read 442 for a subtotal of 1249, and a plot twist you didn't see coming. Awesome. Emily's doing the outline the other way around. Everything you might turn. This might turn you into someone who will eventually plan more. I love that. So it's funny. I only have a minute left. Man, I wish I had more time between these sprints. When I embarked on the main series that I'm writing, my Shadows Advent series, I did not plan out the series at all. And it was only when I hired a coach specifically for series planning that we went through and we outlined a lot more of it. And I know people fall in different parts of the plotter pantser spectrum. But when it comes to a series, I think you should spend some time doing some initial planning just so you have that idea, that map of where you want to go. And then you can make detours, you can make pit stops, you can do whatever you want. But I wish I had done more planning before I started writing my series than I had. So I'm not making that mistake again, ever again. Thanks, Erica. JM Brown got 596. Awesome. Actually, I switched character POV to a side character, and it's the aftermath of an attempted kidnapping. I love going to side character POVs. Elena, chapter 5. Fantastic. Star, much of this week has been on image and website building rather than writing work. So you're making writing time where you can. Well, I'm glad that I can provide you with a space to get some writing done. But image and website building sounds very fun. So I'm glad that's going well. I'm here in my 10-second countdown. So I'm going to put that on screen. We got one more sprint in us. We can chat for more than 5 minutes afterwards if we want. Well, I'll see you there. Happy writing. All right, everyone. So ends our third and final sprint of the day. Let's make my face big there for you. 512 words for me that time, though. I mean, word count for outlining is not it's an inconsistent metric because it doesn't indicate progress. But I'm very, very happy with how this whole outlining session went. I have a pretty solid initial jot note outline for not just the series but the first book, and I don't know, maybe I'll start writing soon. Star 126, excellent. Athena 621 for a total of 1366, fantastic. Sylvan, a meager 34 words, got late then distracted. Hey, 34 more words than you had before. Star Swap Projects midway, it happens. Read a mere 87 for a total of 1342, but 1342 is fantastic. Your intro. Erica 61 with lots of staring. Time to go get some sunshine. I think so. You need a break there. 230 on NJ script. That's awesome. V got 380 total for today. Our total for today was 1549. Was brainstorming the story. Just sat here and rambled with my fingers. Hey, that's what I've been doing. Ashley got 791 that sprint, 2526 total for a daily total of 4,000. Ashley just crushing the word counts. Laura was editing, so I think I actually lost words. That's been me for the last couple weeks. Susan 286, fantastic. Ben, this was great. Got about 500. I love to see that. If anyone out there loves the Dabble plot grid, I would love to connect and learn from you. Well, I love the Dabble plot grid, so I've been meaning to do a tutorial for a while, but it's tough to encapsulate all the different things you can do. Maybe I'll try and do a show about it. But go over to W Campus. That's w.com. I'll drop the link, if I can spell right. I'll drop the link in the chat here real quick. And you can ask people about how they use the plot grid, because every time I ask people how they use it, I get like 15 different answers, which I absolutely adore. And yes, I want to reiterate what Star is saying here. The word count should matter less than the fact that you made the time to devote the thought and work. Whether you join me for one sprint or two sprints or all three sprints, you sat down and you did the work today, which puts you a step above, honestly, 90% of people who say they want to write a book. So I'm pretty proud of everyone that's been here. And in exchange, all I ask is that you hit that thumbs up button down below me, give me a like, so that I can brag to everybody else that I got the most liked writing sprint this week. 244 for Danny on accident. JM 767, fantastic. Ashley also loves the plot grid. Emily wants to learn more about the plot grid as well. Okay, I'm gonna have to do a show about it. I'm gonna have to do something. Maybe we'll just do like an informal plot grid live stream where we go over a couple different ways. Maybe I'll come up with like 5 ways you can use the plot grid for something, but a limiting factor there is time. Time's a tough one because I am on vacation, not next week, but the week after. So for that Wednesday writing sprint, I think you have Hank that'll fill in for me, though I am here next week. And if you are a W Academy member, then I posted World Building Wednesday lesson today, talking about the golden rules of world building. And we have our workshop on Tuesday next week, all about planning a series, which is what I was doing here. So I was taking some of that knowledge, putting it to use, though it's tricky for this one because I'm thinking of an episodic series, not necessarily one with a finite end. Just something we talk about briefly in the workshop, but we really focus on those other kinds of series, like a trilogy or a 5-book series or 7-book series, something with a definitive start and end point. So an episodic one might warrant its own workshop. But anyway, I'm rambling now. Yeah, sorry, I completely agree. Informal tutorial session with some of the deeper Dabble features. There's a lot of stuff that people aren't even aware is in Dabble. I'm going to be honest, I'm hesitant to make Dabble tutorials, like official ones, because it won't be too long before the 3.0 version of Dabble comes out, which is where we have a lot of cool new features coming specifically for sharing with beta readers, with editors, with coaches, and some other features in there, a little bit of a UI tweak or overhaul. I can't share too much though, or the dev team is going to get mad at me. Show us how it's done. I'm a bopping the whole time. Reed, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, everybody. I'm going to call it quits there. I need a break from this ring light, from this screen. I got to go stretch my legs as well and refill my water. I have some questions about backward compatibility with the update. It should be good. It should be good, but I'll be sure to ask about that. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me for some fantastic writing sprints today. Don't forget to copy and paste your work out of the wordsprints.org sessions. If you join me in those ones, it will save for 24 hours on your device, and then it will be gone into the ether, lost forever. So make sure you copy and paste it out. Even if you close it, you could go back and get it right now or in the next like 23 hours and 15 minutes or whatever. So do that. And tomorrow Hank has sprints hosted at 12:30 p.m. Eastern as per usual. Let me just quickly pull up my calendar and see if there's anything else going on. On Friday, Hank and Abby are going to have their week 2 live Q&A sessions about Indie Summer. Apparently last Friday was a hit. I couldn't join, but it was lively. And if you want to ask questions about this week's topic, this one is all about book covers and market research, which is a very tricky area for people who are new to this whole scene, and honestly, people who aren't new to it either. Next week in Indie Summer, we're going to be talking about jacket and marketing copy. So the stuff that you put on the book, the stuff that you put on the Amazon listing page, and I'm actually going to be featured, I guess, on a show for that one. Indie Summer is largely Hank and Abby doing spearheading it, but I'm going to be joining for talking about that, and then I'll also join for the Q&A session next Friday as well. We got a lot of stuff going on next week. It's going to be a pretty busy week. But yeah, I might join on your side of the screen for writing sprints tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you sometime next week. Thanks again for joining me, everybody.